Welcome to the G Spot Experience Coffee Break with your girl, Germaine. Look at where we are. We are in our new studio. We're in our new studio, and I am super excited. So I hope you like it as much as I do because I absolutely love it. Hey, what are you drinking? I have my coffee, and if you don't have yours, just look at the menu and see what you want to order. So, thank you. One Powerful has joined us through Instagram. It's so good to see Instagram working again because Instagram was not. It's been acting up for some reason in this platform, but so good to have you in. We are celebrating because today we have launched our new Germaine's Cafe Bar, or hey, our G Spot Experience Cafe Bar. But we're here and I'm excited about it. I'm coming with a message today that says, you're not behind, you're being built. So think about it. I have been building this studio, we've been building this community, and I am so glad because new members are coming in. Good morning, Leslie. Leslie, what do you think about the new studio? I love it. So now people that forget their coffee on their coffee break, they can order from the menu, right? So let me know your thoughts. I'm excited. So like I said, today our coffee brew is you're not behind, you're being built. Thank you, Leslie. So let me get over it, okay? Because this is going to be the look every day as we move forward. So, but I'm excited about it. We have DePaul 38 who joined us on Instagram. Like I said, it's so good to see Instagram is back up running. And hey, in this coffee break today, hey, what are you guys drinking first of all? I have my coffee. I'm drinking my coffee. I so need it this morning. But what are you drinking? Let me know what you're drinking. Jean, thank you so much for chiming in. Great day rising. Thank you. Loving the studio. Thank you. Thank you. Um, let me know if you're chiming in. Just hit me up in the comments and let me know that you're here. I love getting feedback. I love bringing the community into the conversation. Today's brew, like I said, is you're not behind, you're being built. So, have you thought about that? What does that mean? Well, you know what? Let's tell the truth. We're going to get into it. But you know what we do first? We take a pause and we pour into purpose. So, you guys ready? Let's get into this brew today. Okay, Jean, you got your lemon tea ginger. All right. I need to switch over to tea. But you know what? Tea. I'm gonna do tea on Fridays with our we have our author brew Fridays, and that's when we chop up the tea about authors and what they're working on and what they're doing, their book projects and stuff. So if you have not caught up on those, make sure you go back and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hope of Vision Connect. Our numbers are growing. We're excited about those joining the community. So, and give me your feedback. I love to know that this stuff is resonating with you because we are building out another segment that includes you, bringing you into the studio while we chop it up about some of the actual coffee breaks. It's called Mixed Brew. And so we are working on bringing that to you also live. But anyway, let me get into this message, right? Because this message is good because you know what? We put too much stress on ourselves, we put too much pressure on ourselves. And I just want everybody to breathe, take a breath, pause for a minute, okay? Stop adding so much pressure on yourself. Things come in the right time, right when they're supposed to. But let's get into it. So hopefully some of these things can help you through the process, right? So let's tell the truth. And this is for all of you out there listening. Think about the timelines we set for ourselves. You know, sometimes they can feel like pressure cookers, right? How many right now that's tuning in, how many has this agenda or this timeline? And you know, there's some deadlines that you have to make. And I don't mean like deadlines like, you know what, for this week, I already know what my deadlines are that I have to meet this week. I'm not talking about that. Because you know, you got to be realistic. You want to meet your deadlines. But let's talk about some timelines that pertains to our life, right? for some reason, like the degrees that for the new business launch, or that are healing. Yeah, healing. We put timelines on when we want to be healed, right? What about that relationship? The one that you're in, or the one that you're looking to be in? Um, that should have happened by now, right? Okay. All those things. All those things that we put timelines on. Okay. And I see my internet. I don't know what's going on because the modem is sitting right next to me. But I see there's a slight lag. But hopefully it'll catch up. Okay. We're going to give it a second and let it catch up. All right. Okay. So, all right. So here we are. So let's talk about this. Is just a reminder, you are not late, you're in the making. Think about that. You're in the making. Okay. So there's a difference between being still and being stuck. Now, if you go back through some of our previous coffee breaks, we talk about being still. And I encourage people sometimes to be still because we live in such a busy world and we feel like we got to make everything happen right now, today. But sometimes we really overwhelm ourselves and we stress ourselves to no end. Please take a moment, just breathe. Just breathe. Being still is a great thing because people don't think, and my husband is good for this, he does not think that being still, things are getting done. Being still could be the very thing you need. Okay. And things, being still is doing something. So, but you know what? I just realized you guys can hear me okay. The mic is on, but just let me know if you can hear me okay. I don't know. I don't hear myself. That's probably why. But anyway, so with that being said, let's get into this, okay? Here's a reminder. Like I said, you are not late. You're being made. You are in the making. All right. Okay, good. You can hear me. So there's a difference between, like I said, being still and being stuck. Now, we all can probably relate to that, right? Thanks, Gene. We all can probably relate to that, being stuck. Being stuck, you don't want to be in that position, and even if you find yourself stuck, you want to, like I said, you want to be realistic in things that you're putting in place for yourself. But sometimes it could be due to anything why people find themselves being stuck in a space. Depression, watch out for that because depression is something. If things are not going your way, and you just feel like everything is crashing down around you, and you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on you, and you find you don't even realize you're in a depressed state and you don't want to do nothing, that's a form of being stuck. hmm so be careful with that. um and now, like I said, being still is something that can help you really be ready for stepping right into purpose. Being still, gaining clarity. But there is a whole, we talk all about that in another coffee break. Just go back through them, and I promise you, you'll find that one when we talk about being still. So, but I want to really get into this because not just being stuck, sometimes it's between the waiting and being wasted, wasting time. And sometimes what feels like delay is really divine development. We do, and I'm just going to talk about this for a few moments because when I think about having these unrealistic, sometimes we have unrealistic timelines that we put on ourselves, right? We have good intentions, but sometimes timelines can come from the pressure of others needing or wanting you to be someplace where when I mean someplace, I don't mean just geographically, I mean showing up for whatever it could be in your present situation. But please make sure it starts with you. So you know that whatever timelines you set for you, you're in a position that you can meet those timelines. But when it comes to life and setting up timelines for your life, I hear a lot of young people today. And if you're on here and you have teenagers, or or if you're someone that's young and I'm thinking of a situation right now with my bonus son. I love him dearly. And I remember this was some years ago. I'm so excited because he's doing so amazing right now, right? But I remember just as he was growing up, Jess, we focus on others too much because we base where we should be on where someone else is. And that's not the plan for our life. We will mess ourselves up. Now, I took this outside of him because this is generally speaking. And I'm guilty of it. Sometimes we focus on what somebody else may be doing and we think, oh my gosh, I am so behind. I should have already been there. I should be doing this. I should already have this. I should already be in a relationship. The family should already be in place. Who just thinking about it is it's heavy, right? Just thinking about it, it's heavy. So please, if I can give you any advice, really take a pause and really look at your timelines and make sure they are authentic for you and not because of what somebody else has done, what somebody else is doing, or you're being pressured, because you will make yourself sick. Bottom line, stress can kill. Bottom line, do not stress yourself if you don't have to. So let me get back into this, right? So, just like I said, what you may think is a delay, it's really your divine development. Think about sacred construction zone, where your character is being shaped, your capacity is being stretched, and your vision is being refined. Yeah, I want you to think about those things, right? Because that will help you take pressure off of yourself, and by looking at what someone else is doing. So, I want you to just be encouraged with some of these things. You're not being overlooked, you're being prepared. You're not forgotten, you're being fortified. I hope that helps someone. Take some pressure off themselves for thinking in the next 12 months, I have to have this, and this, and this done. I'm gonna be honest, life does not work like that, right? You have to still be developed. You may not even be ready. You may put these things because in your mind you think you are, but sometimes you got to go through some stuff to really be ready. Try by the fire. uh Sometimes you have to go through, and remember, in the journey is where you really find, once again, that's where you're being stretched, that's where you're being prepared. In the journey, that's where you're going to be fortified. you know that's where your capacity will be stretched, your character will be built in the journey of getting to that next step in that timeline. But please, if you don't meet your timelines that you have, don't be upset, because that's a whole nother thing, putting that type of pressure on yourself because you didn't meet that timeline and you got everybody looking at you. Don't do it to yourself. That's why I always say sometimes you got to move in silence. Everybody don't need to know everything you're doing at the time because you don't even know exactly what you're doing, right? So sometimes you just have to move in silence until it's revealed to you, so you know where you're going and when you're showing up. And when it's time, then people can find out. But the problem is we get on social media and we tell everything. Stop. You're adding more pressure to yourself, because what if it doesn't work out like you think it should? Now you got people talking about all that, right? You don't need that added pressure. So don't do that to yourself. Sometimes just step quietly as you're unraveling, as you're on this journey of discovery. So instead of measuring your progress, let me get back. Instead of measuring your progress by a milestone alone, right? By milestones alone. Take stock of the muscle you've built in the pause. Let me say that again. Let me say that again, right? Instead of measuring by your progress by your milestones alone, take stock in the muscle you've built in the pause. All right. If you didn't get that, it'll hit you right when it's supposed to hit you, right? This is all to help you take some pressure off yourself. Okay. So, the wisdom gained in the quiet. Remember the journey, the wisdom that you'll gain as you're going through this journey to get to your next milestone. The resilience earned when things didn't go as you planned. Guys, this is so good. Listen, I am taking this all in. I am sipping on this brew today. I am sipping on this brew today, right? And I just want to encourage you. God doesn't just bless the outcome, He builds in the progress. That's why it's a sacred construction zone that you may be dealing with, right? So enjoy the journey. Enjoy. Do not be discouraged by the journey that you're on and you feel it's taking too long to get where you need to be. Don't be discouraged by that. Embrace it. See what is unfolding. See what is being built. Test your strength out. Test your capacity now because what was happening last year, you hopefully are further along and you see the growth. All right. So remember, I'm not behind, I'm being built. Just say that. I'm not behind, I'm being built. And what's coming will be worth the wait. So I just want to say, you know how we do. We sip slow, we trust deeper, and we keep showing up. So I encourage all you, keep showing up, keep showing up. Okay. And that being said, once again, I hope there's some value. If there's anything, any comments, anything you guys want to share, hey, share it. And you know what? The conversation continues even outside of the lives. You can definitely make sure. Hey, my girl, Jessie Moss chiming in. But you can definitely check us out. And once again, if you have not, it's in the description. Make sure you click the YouTube link. The YouTube channel, Hope of Vision Connect, we are building. You can also join us on connect with us and follow us on the Instagram, as well as my LinkedIn and my Facebook. But thank you all so much for chiming in. You know, we'll be back tomorrow with another message. So I hope you chime in. And if you forget, like I said, if you forget your coffee and you need to just place an order, hey, you can do that in a new cafe now, right? So thank you all. Have a great day. Please be safe out there. And make sure you go back and just check out some of the other coffee breaks. All right. I hope to see you on the coffee break tomorrow. Have a great day. Hi, Len Barrett Green. Thank you. That's right. I'm not behind. That's right. You are being built. So thank you so much for chiming in. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.